what you're gonna say. I can't believe what you're alluding to, Max. Let it out. Let it out. What are you trying to say?
He is going. This is my hot take. You just calm down. He is a great fighter. A good big man doesn't beat a great little man. It takes something more than a good big man to do that, and Lopez is more than just good.
Punches are not made, they are born. And this guy, Lopez, was born to punch. And he's got one other thing going for him, Steven and Max. He reminds me of Pacquiao, Lopez, in a way, not just with power in either hand, but his closing step, his ability to explode. You know, kind of like an athlete in football, basketball, any of those sports where it's not about running a 40. It's about the quickness. It's about the closing step, the burst. He's got that burst. Not everybody's got that burst.
Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman argue about the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez matchup, focusing on ability strength and career achievements.
Sure to show the world that at 23 years of age, I'm a champion, and you're going to have to come take this from me. I'm not giving you a damn thing. I loved his quickness. We know about Lopez's power, but I'm talking about his quickness defensively. But I saw Lopez being elusive, and I love that because it's one thing for you to have the power and the quickness to go along with the power offensively. A lot of guys can look good until they get hit. There were times where he got hit, and there were other times where he was slick.
Stephen A. Smith praised Teofimo Lopez for his sharp defense, noting his quick reactions and his skill at avoiding punches during close-range exchanges.
Know that Lomachenko's footwork is exceptional. It's practically unrivaled. So you could see what he's done to numerous fighters, which contributed to them quitting, like Nicholas Walters and others. He tried that with Lopez. It didn't work. Lopez's footwork worked. His speed was there. Some power, obviously, but his elusivity is what impressed me most. The fact that he was able to slip a number, not all, but a number of those
Lomachenko.
pitches.
He wouldn't let Lomachenko establish his outside foot.
And I loved it.
Yeah, for me, coming into this fight, obviously I always talk to Max about fighting. I love it. I was thinking, and Lopez mentioned it pre-fight, everybody thought it was going to be very Mayweather, Canelo when they fought, and that he would be outclassed. If you look at the first 6 rounds, it was about patience. He was patient. He didn't rush himself. He used this jab, which is something that we aren't used to seeing him.
He repeatedly highlights Teofimo Lopez's record of delivering his best performances when the spotlight is brightest. Smith stresses that Lopez never looks overwhelmed against top-level opponents and points to his commanding victory over Vasily Lomachenko as clear proof.
Challenge lies ahead for Lopez this upcoming weekend.
What challenge? The challenge of fighting for me, my estimation, the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. Either him or Crawford. You choose it, it doesn't matter. You can flip-flop either one of them. They're the 2 top guys. The challenge is to get his bomb to the target. Yeah, like Customano, my mentor, used to say, you know, Teddy, having power is great, but if you don't have a means to get it to the target, it has no value. It's like a military weapon, he used to say. If you don't have a missile, it just blows up and makes a big hole in the ground. So that's the challenge. Get it to the target. Get it to the chin or the body. It might be a good idea with a guy who moves his head so much, but get it to the target with Lomachenko. So keep yourself together mentally with all that going on, with all the chaos stuff coming at you, and don't get discouraged. Don't get frustrated if he's hard to...
Teddy Atlas joined Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman and said that Teofimo Lopez's toughest test would be going up against the top pound-for-pound fighter. Atlas explained that Shakur Stevenson has world-class basics and discipline, and that Teofimo athletic ability by itself would not be enough to beat a fighter with that level of technical skill.
Shakur is one of those guys and who comes along, and I think this is really the question about him. I said he is one of those guys. Is he one of those guys? Like Purnell, like Roy, like Floyd, their defenses were so good, and they boxed in a way where they weren't going to take unnecessary risks. They weren't running and holding. You know, I had a problem with the second half of the Haney-Norman fight because I felt like they continue to box. Purnell did, Roy did, and Shakur does now, right? But when a guy has those advantages in boxing skill and speed, and they don't take risks, they are almost impossible to beat. So no matter who Purnell was fighting, no matter who Roy was fighting, if someone would have asked me who they're going to be, they're fighting Godzilla, Purnell. They're fighting Roy. Shakur has that look to me, and the style to.
Kellerman keeps stressing that Stevenson does more than just win fights. He shuts opponents down completely. His movement, ring control, and sharp timing give him full command of how every fight unfolds.
The difference here is that they're both twitchy, they're both fast, they're both excellent boxers. Teo's a puncher. I know it hasn't shown up in recent fights, but we have watched both of their careers. Shakur is not a puncher.
No.
Teo is.
Teo can be an explosive, I hit you with a shot and you don't see, and you are out cold type puncher.
And talking about power, strength too. I think Teo's going to be the much stronger guy in there. Shakur Stevenson's not a strong guy.
I think he's getting stronger.
Me too.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
agree.
But this is his first fight at 140 though. That's what I'm saying. I'm not disrespecting
I
his
feel
strength.
like, but I also feel like that Shakur might surprise you, Mike, with his physical strength. Physical strength, as we all know, doesn't always translate to punching power.
Sure, of course not.
But when he was a younger fighter, he looked like he could be moved around by his opponent. It doesn't look like that anymore.
No, he's definitely matured in his body. But first fight at 140, Teo's what? I think this is maybe his fifth fight at 140?
Yeah.
Something like that?
That's true, but Shakur has a frame where he can put on 140 very comfortably.
He admitted that both fighters are very skilled, but made it clear that Shakur Stevenson is not known for heavy power. He explained that Shakur succeeds by accuracy, smart defense, and full control of the fight instead of winning with knockouts.
Is there an advantage there where Shakur is fighting to protect that perfect record, to protect that kind of sense that he's the next guy? On the other hand, Teo is like he can fight with more abandon against Shakur because there's so much for him to gain. And if he loses, he's lost before. He's lost to
Max Kellerman explains that Shakur goes into the fight carrying greater risk because of his reputation as a technical master and his unbeaten record. Teofimo, meanwhile, stands to gain more since he comes in as the underdog where expectations are lighter and chances are greater, which makes the matchup risky and hard to predict.
I think the fight with Teo is either going to be you delivering a masterclass
or a knockout by Teo.
Yeah, or you getting into some type of brawl with Teo and end up getting knocked out, right? What are fans getting wrong about the matchup?
I think the fans is getting wrong about the matchup is where I'm not sleeping on that I know about Teo. Teo's a good boxer. He's boxer first. So we could say, oh, he's just going to knock you out. Or he's just going to... That's not him. He's boxing first. He's going to want to establish distance and range on the outside and try to beat me up on the outside. So I think that's the main thing. And also the biggest thing that everybody don't realize with me, I could punch. Everybody say, oh, he can't punch, and then boom, crack somebody, and then they laying down, or something may happen to where they hurt or something like that. So I think that's too big.
Stevenson has openly talked about how important this fight is to him, seeing it as an opportunity to show that he belongs among the very best pound-for-pound fighters in boxing.
I don't think that Shakur is going to come out and try to fight or take the fight to Teo in the first 6 rounds at all. So if he's fighting off the back foot, if Teo can make it so that he's convincingly, or he's convinced at least Shakur that he may have won 4 of the first 6 rounds, you know, if it's 4-2 in Shakur's mind going into the second half of the fight, or if I'm looking at him stealing those first 6 rounds, then it's an interesting fight going into the tail end, because Teo, to me, is a front runner, right? I want to see if he can carry his energy and his explosiveness late in the fight and not wear down. And then when Shakur starts to open up, you know, can you steal some of those championship rounds from him and make it like a close fight? I think if Teo comes out and does what he usually does, which is try to swarm Shakur early and keep Shakur on the defensive early, then he can try to steal a lot of those early rounds. And if he does...
Many experts view the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez fight as an exciting tactical battle where smart planning, stamina, and perfect timing may be the key factors that decide who wins.
If I'm looking at the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds, and Teo looks like he's losing those rounds convincingly, then it's an easy night for Shakur, unanimous decision in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Teo is going to bring anything late in the game, you know what I mean, to this fight. I think if he is who he's always been, you know, he's going to get gassed after like the 7th round and then take some rounds off. And when he does that, Shakur will open up and start to try to pick him apart, pot shot him, and do things like that. But this is the perfect fight, narrative-wise, for Shakur, because I've been waiting for Shakur to get into that fight where, you know, he doesn't have the fight where he doesn't have his Diego Corrales fight. You know what I mean? Where you think he's actually in danger. Shakur has been he's been outclassing everybody he's in the ring with. You know what I mean? Then the guys that you think could give him some work, like De Los Santos, I know people hate when I bring that fight up, but I want to see him actually in danger.
Lopez is commonly seen as a fighter who begins aggressively using quick power sharp counters and sudden bursts of pressure in the early rounds. If he cannot keep up that pace for all 12 rounds, some analysts question whether his performance could drop in the later championship rounds, giving Stevenson a chance to take control.
Pierre, Shakur and Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson getting it on in about 3.5 weeks or something like that. Also on the undercard is Keyshawn Davis. But the main event, let's jump into the main. Tell me what you're thinking.
You got an ultimate skill fighter versus a boxer who's twitchy, and twitchy sometimes beats out skills. Sometimes that's the side that can really beat a straight up boxer to me. Somebody who's twitchy, because they don't fight as normally as most boxers fight. They give angles, body movements, bouncing around like a Lomachenko would done, even a Crawford does, moves different angles and so forth. That's why they can beat a lot of boxers.
Insiders think that matchups like Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez are exactly what boxing needs at the moment. Legendary former champion Roy Jones Jr. called it a true skill for skill fight, comparing it to top-level battles like Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Jones says fights of this level bring credibility back to the sport by having the very best fighters face each other at their peak.
Who's going to show up what day? What's Shakur showing up? What T.O.'s going to show up? You get what I'm saying?
Nah, we going to always Shakur going to always be Shakur. The offense that we saw from him in his last fight was just, he knew what he had in front of him. And eventually he knew that he was going to be in a position where he could have his way with the kid who was in the ring. I'm losing his name off the top of my head.
Right, I know you're talking about. But I believe he fought that way because he started hearing all the call of him running. He started saying, you know what? Let me stay in the pocket, because he stood in the pocket a lot more than he normally stood in the pocket with that fight. You know what I'm saying?
It took some unnecessary shots.
Huh?
It took unnecessary shots.
Well, okay, right. Mm-hmm. But you see what kind of fan base he got after that too. The doubters started saying, you know what, I'm going to roll with him more, because we were getting tired of him running and skillfully beating people. That gets boring. Like Mayweather did his last 10 fights.
Analysts agree that both Stevenson and Lopez come with championship experience, star appeal, and a strong desire to prove themselves. Their contrasting approaches, with Stevenson's world-class technique, defense, and ring smarts versus Lopez's explosive power, speed, and aggression, set up a high-stakes must-watch fight. This kind of matchup sparks discussion, builds excitement, and draws in casual and devoted fans alike as top fighters take real risks against elite opponents. Boxing benefits from this, delivering intense competition and memorable moments that reignite fan enthusiasm.
I'm scared of Shakur.
Nobody's scared of Shakur, bro.
I think y'all be ducking
Shakur's scared of his shadow, bro. Relax,
I think y'all be ducking Shakur.
Shakur,
right?
You see his last fight?
One the fans want to see, though.
No, they don't.
Yes,
Stop hyping up Shakur.
I want to see Ryan and Shakur.
I've not heard that at all.
Yeah.
I've never
You wouldn't want to see that?
I never heard. Hey, nobody on the street has ever been like, yo, Shakur, you would be crazy.
Who should Shakur Stevenson fight next?
I don't think he should fight at all ever again, because he just puts the fans to sleep and he's not doing anything entertaining for the damn sport. Honestly, just kick him out of boxing, bro. He's horrible.
God damn.
I'm asking you this. You think Dana would put up with Shakur? He'd be the first one to get kicked out of the UFC, right or wrong?
I will say this. You're right. Dana definitely wants, because it's a promotion, it's an entertainment company.
Okay, boxing's an entertainment company too. He ain't doing the sport a favor, so kick him out.
How would that fight between him and David Haney go?
Honestly, man, if you want to get off to that, man, you better off watching like Gabe.
Stevenson's boxing is often called boring, but that misses the skill in his style. He focuses on top-level footwork, precise counters, and strong defense instead of constant aggression or non-stop action. Many fans want big knockouts and non-stop pressure, which Stevenson rarely aims for. His fights may seem slow or calculated, but this careful approach makes him very hard to hit and very effective against elite opponents. While not flashy, Stevenson's technique shows modern boxing intelligence, proving that control and timing can be just as exciting as raw knockout power.
about the criticism that Shakur gets? Like, people say that he's boring, he's not entertaining.
I mean, look, he's like an Andre Ward style. Andre Ward wasn't really that entertaining, but got the win. I mean, that's what boxing is all about. So I used to love watching Andre Ward fight because it was so punch perfect. I watched his footwork, how he moved to the right, to the left, and I trained with him as well, with Virgil. And I used to watch how he trained and how he fought, and I thought how he puts his hands out and uses it as a defense, and then pulls your hands down and catches you over the top, and them little things. So this is a fight that people get, because you got two different styles. You've got an offensive, defensive in Lopez, and you've got a defensive in
Amir Khan has recognized Shakur Stevenson as a highly skilled and technically gifted boxer who adds real value to the sport. Even if casual fans find his style less exciting, Stevenson's accuracy, defense, and ring intelligence make him extremely hard to hit and defeat, which is the heart of boxing. While Khan admires fighters like Teofimo Lopez for their power and aggression, he also respects Stevenson's elite abilities. He notes that many fans mistake tactical defensive skill for boredom. At the top level, avoiding punches, controlling distance, and outsmarting opponents are signs of true mastery. Stevenson's technique and success against elite competition prove that skill can be just as impressive as knockouts.
Vision at that time and then the one above you, but it's in a message to the fans. But I think it also did something for you to prove to yourself that, man, listen, that wasn't like my best performance, but I showed you I can get it out the mud. What did that performance kind of do for you now that you look back at it?
Honestly, I think like styles wise, I think that Zepeda's style is the style that's supposed to give me the most trouble. Like, guys that box and give me time to think is the guys that's gonna have a fit with me all night. But the guys who press me and put me against some ropes and throw a million punches, that's the style that's supposed to give me trouble. So I went out there and I prevailed against that style, and now I'm fighting against a boxer, which for me, it just makes it more fun. I don't have to deal with a guy trying to like wear me down so much.
Stevenson has been clear and confident about his preparation and mindset for a potential fight with Teofimo Lopez. During training, he has highlighted how sharp, disciplined, and focused he feels, saying this is the strongest version of himself fans have seen. He emphasizes execution over hype, believing his skills will make the difference on fight night. While respecting Lopez's talent, athleticism, and power, Stevenson has made it clear mistakes will be punished. He sees Lopez's aggressive approach as creating opportunities and plans to capitalize on them with precise timing. Confident in his strategy, Stevenson aims to control the pace from start to finish and deliver a performance that proves without question his elite level.
It's limitless, though. So then again, it's like I could always succeed to another level with it, and exceed to it. So it's really just trying to just keep it going, keep moving forward throughout the whole time and throughout the whole process, and mainly just have fun with it. You gotta have fun with what you do. I love this. I haven't stopped doing what I've done because of the fact that I enjoy what I do. This has been 20 years in the making. 20 years in this, and I have so much to do and so much to prove within myself. So mentally, I'm prepared. Physically, I'm more than ready, and emotionally, I'm on fire, I'm on fire with it, because all I ever did was try to be great, and it's no longer trying. I am great. And it's all about just continuing and holding that. So it's all about just staying humble throughout the process, keeping myself level-headed, and really just enjoying each day that we get, because tomorrow's never promised.
Meanwhile, Teofimo Lopez enters this fight with renewed confidence and a strong sense of purpose, seeing it as a career-defining moment. He says he feels mentally sharp, physically strong, and fully in sync with his training. Instead of feeling pressure from expectations, Lopez embraces the spotlight, believing this is the kind of stage made for him. His mindset shows both maturity and hunger, shaped by past experiences that have strengthened his determination. He views the fight as a chance to display his full skill set, including speed, power, ring intelligence, and competitive drive, while proving why he remains one of boxing's most dangerous and talented fighters.
Man, what do you say to that, bro? You hear him, bro? I just can't wait to beat him and shut him up, bro. Tio not on this level. Tio is a high-level fighter, but he's not on my level. I'm an elite-level fighter, and come January 31st, I'm going to show it.
You've shown respect to him for his performances in the past, what he's done. He's fought guys like Lomachenko and Taylor. You say that he's not on your level. Why do you think you're on just a different level than him?
Because I seen him at his best. Against Taylor, against Lomachenko, he was at his very best. That was the best he can do. I don't think he can do nothing better than that. So
self-projection.
What I seen from that fight, I feel like I'm way better than them guys. With Lomachenko, like I said, he didn't throw punches for 6
Objection!
Rounds. For 6 rounds. So if you ain't throw punches for 6 rounds and you get in front of me,
and you was
I just don't know. I would have beat Lomachenko that night easy.
Ultimately, a win over Teofimo Lopez would be a career-defining moment for Shakur Stevenson. Beyond gaining another world title, it would boost his credibility and give him more leverage in talks for a long-anticipated fight with Gervonta Tank Davis. Many fans and experts feel that beating a proven star like Lopez would be the statement Stevenson needs to cement himself as the division's top contender, making a matchup with Davis not just appealing but inevitable.